welcome to Bitstorm, a comedy game design podcast by two guys who know nothing about comedy nor game design. I'm Ben Slinger, and with me, as always, is Trevor Scott.
Hello.
Hello. Back from PAX, although I realise now that we've mixed some episodes up, so it's been a couple of weeks.
Yeah, but you know what happens. Your brand new PC decides to take a massive dump on and throw everything into the shitter, basically.
Yeah, through a big tanty.
So episode 351 wasn't the episode that was supposed to come out, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's the one you heard last week. Now,
I've mixed up all the timings on it. So, in fact, at this stage, you probably won't even have heard this because this is now going to be 352, and then the one that we recorded for 351 will be probably 353 if I get my computer back in time. So.
Yeah, it will depend. It'll depend on a few things. But anyway, the vagaries of the podcast world, we still manage to get something out each week.
Yes.
So that's what matters.
Something.
What are we going to do this week, Trevor?
I think we'll go back to classic click pitch.
Classic click pitch.
Classic click pitch.
This is a game, for those who may be joining us for the first time, welcome, where we each have a random word generator in front of us. And on the count of 3, 2, 1, click, we're going to get a new word and we're going to read them out loud and we're going to throw them together and we're going to kind of mash them together as if in some sort of hydraulic press. Mm-hmm. And what will come out is a squished game of some kind.
Yeah. Squishy games.
Yeah. Squishy games.
So, 3, 2, 1, squish.
Let's go. Easterly.
Thrust.
Easterly thrust.
Yeah.
Okay. Why would you be thrusting in an easterly direction?
What is to the east? That is the question.
It's where the sun rises,
yes,
right?
It is.
Yes. I've never had to guide my way by the sun, so I always get that mixed up. Maybe are you trying to thrust towards the east to make your days shorter? Would that make them shorter? No, your nights days and nights shorter. If you kept going, I think they'd be shorter.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're going towards where the...
Yeah, you're going to reach the sun faster every time.
Exactly.
Like where the sun is hitting.
Because we live on a flat Earth, we will reach the sun.
Maybe this is a game set on a flat Earth, and you're traveling east to find where the sun, where the sun comes from.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool, actually.
What I love is if you continue going east, it doesn't wrap around. So you can only go so far east.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And that's where the sun hole is.
Yeah.
It comes, there's a huge hole in the ground.
Now, it depends. Like, on some flat Earths, it is sort of laid out so that, like, the North Pole is in the center and then then it's a big circle. So going east will actually take you in a circle, so it will go forever.
Oh, I see. Well, not this one.
Not this one. This is just
easily
this is
fixed.
Literally just
problem solved.
It's just flat, so that from Australia, the east is like the Americas and west is like the Africas.
Yeah, Australia's in the center of this one.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's just a square. It's just grid lines, east, northeast, south, and west. It's just grid lines. There's no curvature to it. It's just like a chessboard.
Yep, sounds great. Okay, so night to H3. I don't know.
Well, that's kind of funny because I thought you were saying night, like the night, day and night, and that would also work. That's how we get night. It's when the great godly player plays night to H3, which is where Australia happens to be.
Oh shit.
So, yeah, no, but I like this idea of voyaging to find the ends of the earth, you know?
Yeah.
But in a modern way, like in a modern world, or even obviously we're creating a world where this has not been discovered yet, but we're in contemporary sort of technology and that sort of thing.
Yeah. I like that.
Rather than, ships on the sea in like the sorts of ways that we travelled when we were actually discovering new frontiers on the planet, or when some people were.
Yeah.
Other people already existed there, funnily enough.
Okay, so given that this is a world that has 64 squares.
Yep.
And that's it. Like, that's the entire bounds of the world. 64 squares. Now, these squares are rather big.
Of course.
Yeah. Like, Australia is like one and a quarter squares, basically.
So the Earth is 510 million kilometres squared.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, each one's about just about 8 million kilometres.
Okay, so that's pretty big, and there's a lot of water. Like,
of course,
a lot of
some
water.
of them are just water.
Yeah. In fact, I would dare say the majority of it is just water. Because have you seen the size of the Pacific Ocean? It's fucking huge.
I mean, I looked down from a plane. Yeah, it's pretty big.
Yeah. Yeah.
Never looked at a map. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in maps. Yeah, I only believe in what I can see with my own 2 eyes.
You put your thumb up and said it's bigger than my thumb. So that's a thing.
It's bigger than... Well, the thing is, I did do that. I said it's bigger than my thumb, and then I moved my thumb closer to my face, and then it wasn't bigger than my thumb anymore. I went,
my thumb's bigger than the ocean.
Maybe the Pacific Ocean is smaller than my thumb.
But then you saw how many squares it took up on this theoretical world board.
Yeah. That's what convinced me.
Yeah. And that's when you decided, water and the Pacific Ocean is fucking huge.
Yeah, pretty big.
Okay, so there's an ice wall at the bottom and an ice wall at the top. What is there on the sides?
Firewalls.
Firewalls, okay, cool.
Because, I mean, the sun comes up on one side.
Yeah.
So, actually, it's like when the sun comes up in the east, that whole edge is just burning, right? Because the sun is really hot. It does cool down later in the day when the sun is, once the sun's past its peak right in the middle and it starts to heat up the other edge, then the east edge does cool down a bit. And that's when we'll, in this game, we'll discover that and have to make take our opportunity to pass.
Okay, so we know, because the stories say, that when the sun reaches the west firewall, another sun comes over the east firewall. So there's at least 2 suns.
Yes.
At least that's what they think.
Just because of the way that the day and night cycle works.
Yes.
Because clearly, if the eastern side is not particularly lit up when the sun's right over in the west, but then it doesn't take a whole cycle of how long it would take that sun to go sort of under.
Oh no, it starts because you can see the other sun coming. You look over the firewall and you go, oh look, even though it's rather bright around the firewall because it's massive fire, but you can see the sun coming and it's like, oh, here comes the next sun. It makes me.
But they have a nighttime, right?
They have a nighttime.
So is nighttime in the middle is essentially when the second sun one sun's coming up and one sun's going down. It's night in the middle.
Yeah, it's night in the middle. And then night just continues over. And you'll find that when the sun's in the middle, it happens to be night over the firewalls. It's kind of how it works.
Yes.
But still, it is rather bright around the firewalls because fire is bright. So if you live near the firewall, which is ocean anyway, you're going to be in.
There's a few islands out there that the islands that are closest.
Yeah, I think I think there's an island that is cut in half by a firewall. And
there's an island that's that is right exactly on the edge.
Yeah.
And it's just blazing
And you know
fire
what? There's another island on the other side that happens to be
they call it
on the other
Charcoal
side.
Island.
You know, on the western side, on the western firewall,
that matches
there's
up.
like there's another half of an island that seems to match
It's
up.
almost as if this used to be a sphere and someone just sliced it down.
Or it still is a sphere. It's just that there's a massive firewall in the way, and they can't.
There's
can't
just
make
one.
it.
That's the big reveal. Is it's just one firewall?
Exactly.
No, I think I think the big reveal should be that there's another whole Earth on the other side.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The flip side, the back face.
Backface. It's called culling.
Yeah, it's cold every.
Yeah. So backface culling. Yeah. That's the name of the other place. It's culling.
Something like that.
Yeah.
because we live on the normal side.
Exactly. And you know it's normal because the arrow goes out.
Yeah. A little bit of 3D math humour for you there, guys. 3, 2, 1, click.
Okay, that was funny.
Well, speaking of funny, slapstick.
Ride.
Okay, slapstick ride.
Yeah. So I'm imagining a carnival.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a big like Royal Melbourne show sort of thing. I'm thinking just a travelling
town fair, you know.
Travelling carnival.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm starting to like the idea of, you know, all the ways that you're trying to gouge money out of the town that you're currently in.
Okay, yeah.
So obviously rides, you know, you just put the prices up and people are gonna pay for that, and then you have them hanging upside down and you catch all the money falling out of their pockets.
Well, this strikes me as a perfect setup for what is essentially a roguelike management game.
Yeah.
Which is the thing we sort of talked about before, but where, as you know, you come into a town, the layout of the area that you've been given is procedurally generated.
Yes.
It's got, you know, a certain number of entrances and exits, certain amount of space, and it's about maximizing that and using the tools at your disposal to get the most money you can out of this town.
And certain demographics. So, and depending on, you know, maybe at the start you spend a little bit of extra cash to send some feelers out into the community that will give you better demographic information.
Yeah, so you know what types of people are likely to come through, so you can target them in
later on.
better
You
ways.
can hire a hacker, and they can, you know, find out census information and find out the real information from a digital source, so that you don't have to spend as much money going out and, you know, questioning.
Yeah, well, I think this is where the roguelike element can come in. I think as you go through the game, you can unlock new tools, new sideshows, new rides. New ways of, like, you get you can now hire the guy who catches the money that falls out of their pockets when they go on the upside down shake 'em ride.
What if it was a deck builder?
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that in your deck, it's like, okay, these are the people, and these are the sideshows that you've unlocked. So it's like you can basically build up your deck as you go, but you don't know what you can really put down until you see your area. So
until you draw the cards.
Well, until you see the area. Like, you could have like the world's best roller coaster in your deck because you've stacked your deck first. But it's like, it needs to be perfectly level in order to do that. And you end up in a mountainous town that has not a single bit of flat ground. So that card is now wasted. And
gotcha.
So
that could add some interesting elements.
So it's all about, okay, maybe we're going to put more sideshows, like, you know, the laughing clowns and, you know, ring toss and...
Yeah. So it's about... as you go, you'll have more ways of getting intel, and if you've got intel, you can stack your deck in a particular way. You can build your deck for demographics, the layout of the area, the terrain, the weather.
Yeah. And I think one of the things is
but
that
maybe you
can
can never know all of these things, right? There's always going to be an element of risk.
Exactly. I think what you can also bring in is, like, if you make the games so that they're not winnable, like, you could get chased out and then you could have negative connotations.
Well, then you have to travel further before you can set up shop again to get ahead of your reputation. And that costs money, right? Like, you want to be setting up as in as many towns as you can.
Yeah. I think you got penalty cards that get played against you. That are kind of like, you know, you've got a card shark who's come in, and, you know, you've got like a 3-card Monty stall, but they always know where the queen is, because they're really good.
Well, yeah, the benefit of using card mechanics is that you can you can add really interesting gameplay by, so for example, if you do set up in a town where your reputation is particularly bad, you get, 4 bad reputation cards added to your deck. And if you pull that, either it just means you've pulled you've wasted a deck pool, basically. So you're going to be able to deploy less stuff here.
Or it gets played
instantly.
Has a
negative. Yeah, it gets played instantly, or it's a thing like, while this is in your hand, it has a negative effect, and so you do need to, you want to play it to get rid of it, to maybe have a smaller but immediate negative effect rather than a long term or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe if you play all of the reputation cards that you've got within one turn, you kind of regain some of it back. Like, it doesn't spread beyond that point or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like those sorts of things being added. And then you can just have random cards added too, from sort of random events and things. There's someone in this town who has perfected all the games because he's, done all his research or something. And
Yep. Yeah, knows all the tricks because he was a carny folk himself. Like,
yeah, exactly.
So
but it's something that comes up in your hand. Oh, because I wonder if there's something to be said for the actual people coming to visit being cards as well. Maybe that's taking it too far.
I think that's taking too far, but I do like the idea of, what you can put down. I'm thinking maybe there's like setup deck, and then there's like the standard play deck.
Well, that's kind of why I was thinking that the people could almost be cards, because then it's about, the demographics in this town mean the makeup of that sort of customer deck is going to be a certain thing, and then you're drawing cards almost one at a time.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe
almost
what it could be is like, this is just a subset. Like, the customer deck is like a subset of... these are the notable customers that have come through. So,
yeah, kind of. It sort of it's representative, but I think you still play them, and maybe you can even sort of...
I like the idea that you pick one up and it's like, you made X amount of dollars because, no one has won on all these games for quite a while, and there's just different things that you can pull out like that. But then there's the customer card that can pull out that is going to cause you issues upon issues upon issues.
Yeah, maybe it is just that, like, they are sort of cards, but like it plays out in a sense of you just draw one card after the other. Or maybe it's about you continue drawing cards, and you can... If you draw all the cards in the person deck, you get some sort of bonus. But if you haven't set up your fair well for the demographics, like, you might risk losing money if you keep drawing cards. So you can choose to just fold, essentially, and it's like, okay, then we're done. We're done in this location. But, if it costs money to set everything up as well. So you want to get through as many customers as you can. But then things like putting, like the Game Shark or the cop or like different
the mob boss
people in that deck. Yeah, the mob boss or whatever. Like, if you know they're in there ahead of time, but you don't know when they're going to crop up, it's a risk reward thing every time you draw the next card from that customer deck, essentially.
Yep.
And so, like, the standard ones might just be, you pulled a 19-year-old girl, and based on how you've set up your fare, it will kind of play out as, you made X amount of money from them. And it gives you a bit of a sense
this
of
particular customer
why.
loves rides. It loves these things in descending order. Rides, show bags, and then sideshows. But because you didn't put any rides out or show bags this time, you make the least amount of money from them.
Yeah. Or you may even lose money on certain people because, like, they win
sideshows.
They win prizes, or they win prizes, like they're good at the sideshows or something.
Yeah.
Or they, for whatever reason, like, because there's running costs on rides and different things, or show bags cost a certain amount of money, but, maybe they only go for the cheap show bag, or whatever it is. Like, there's different... not to make it just purely about sort of the economy of it all.
They only go for birdie beetles.
Yeah, they only go for birdie beetles. They just want the one show bag that's got, like, 30 birdie beetles in it.
But the problem is, the 30 birdie beetle one, it costs $9 to make, and you only sell it for $10.
That's our loss leader. Costs $11 to make and only costs $10.
But it's the one that gets everyone buying everything else. So.
Gets them in the door. Yeah. Birdie beetle.
You knew I was going to say it.
It's the classic.
It is. I want a birdie beetle.
All right, 3, 2, 1, click.
Moan.
That was an interesting one, gameplay-wise.
Yes, it was. Moan.
Moan. Avalanche.
Ooh. I don't think I'll say what I was just thinking.
So you're on a dirty weekend up in the Alps.
No, I was thinking an avalanche is what happens when a mountain orgasms.
I was thinking you need to not moan too hard, too loud to start an avalanche. Okay, but no, I mean, so maybe someone's moaning from, not to take it in a dark direction, but like maybe someone's moaning in pain or in despair or just disappointment, perhaps.
Moaning in disappointment.
Yeah. It's sort of a moan.
Yeah, it's a groan, probably more likely.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Okay, I do like the idea of this being set on a mountain.
Yeah. Like at a ski resort or something.
I like that it's like a couple going away for a dirty weekend. Totally. And an avalanche totally ruins their weekend. So I think that's a good place to start off this game from.
Okay, like they start off trapped in their kind of semi-remote cabin.
Yeah.
After an avalanche.
Yep.
That was caused by them fucking.
Yes. It's only in the 30-minute pornographic scene at the very start, and then the gameplay starts. It's not skippable.
You have to answer questions, Leisure Larry. You have to answer questions, Leisure Larry style to see it. Though.
Yeah, and if you answer them correctly, then you can skip it. If not, you gotta watch all the way through.
Yeah, but it's
hard.
Well, it's also like weird polygonal bad.
Oh yeah, it's PlayStation 1 graphics. It's not great.
It's not sexy,
and it takes 30 minutes.
Yeah, and it's very repetitive though for the most part. It's just sort of random camera angles on about 3 different animations, and just repeating sound effects.
The same 2 sound effects, one for the guy, one for the other person. Don't know whether like It's just random.
Does it? Yeah. Yep.
If you get two
It's
penalties,
basically this game.
it's the same sound effect twice.
Basically, this game just started as a like random sex scene, procedurally generated sex scene. But there's just not a lot of content to pull from.
There's 3 animations, 2 sound effects, and like 2 different models.
And sometimes the animations get mixed up, so like it's just 2 people thrusting their groins into each other, like
easterly.
Yeah, in an easterly direction. That's it. Like, but they're synced, so their bodies never touch. Because when one's thrusting forward, they're both thrusting forward.
Okay. Then when you get into the game,
after this,
when you get into the game, it's just ski or die. Like that's literally all it is.
It's ski free. Even better.
It's just
sometimes randomly one of the people
snowboarding, whatever. Like
sometimes randomly one of the people in the starting sex scene will be the Yeti. And we're not judging. We're not trying to yuck anyone's yum here.
Yeah, he's got the same sound effect. It just makes it even weirder. Okay. So I love that we've got this whole intro scene. Mm-hmm. We've joked that what the gameplay is. Let's actually go about what the actual gameplay is.
Let's think about this. But I kind of do like actually the idea of a PlayStation 1-esque style. Almost a Resident Evil or Alone in the Dark style, but more point and clicky than survival horror.
Yes, definitely.
So fixed camera angles, pre-rendered backgrounds, chunky, blocky characters.
Okay, so is this PlayStation 1 pre-analog sticks?
Let's not be sadists. So I think rather than tank controls pre-analog sticks, I think we can do some more modern analog controls. So you point the stick in the direction you want to go and you go there.
But the problem is if you change in the middle, we've got those scenes that flip where the camera is. So you'll keep on flipping between the 2 scenes.
Yes, exactly. We didn't get that bit right. If you're pointing in the wrong direction as you try to head like northeast out of a scene, then you will. If you hold it down just in the same direction, you will immediately end back up in the previous scene.
Yes, and it'll flip really, really quickly because this is running at like 600 frames per second. So
you just have to let it go and hope that you're in the right scene at the right time, and then continue in the direction you actually wanted to go.
Did you change over to down quick enough? No, you did not. It didn't happen in that frame, so we're already sending you back to the previous scene. Okay, I think this is kind of like an escape room sort of thing of how do you actually escape out of this.
So it's more kind of cognitive puzzles in a way of like finding the right combinations based on like colors or something like that sort of escape room thing.
I think more realism based escape room of how do you melt the snow? Well, you can use the matches on the torch sort of thing. It's still escaping that room. It's just more realistic.
So more like
a typical adventure game, but
more like a mobile ad for a game that does not have that gameplay at all, but you have to select the right tool to get past the obstacle.
Yes.
It's like a mobile ad for homescapes.
The ad shows match 3 all the way, and we don't have a single match 3 in there.
Oh, the ad for our game, yeah.
Yes.
We have our own mobile phone style ads.
I think, given what we've done in the past, like every single one of our ads would have VR and match 3 somehow matched together. And it would always be the same game, but then you get in and it's like, oh, this has got nothing to do with that. This is like a PS1 escape room. What the fuck?
Janky controls. But not as janky as they could.
No. It's not Tank.
Yeah.
At least you got that.
Never Tank.
In fact, think Grim Fandango, and that's pretty much exactly what it is. It's those controls.
Yeah, including the, like, your character looks at the
things that you want to pick up, yeah.
And then you have a similar situation where there's two things that are too close together. And they just start looking back and forth. You can never quite select the one. There's three things and you want to select the middle one, it's impossible.
Yeah. So once you escape the house, then you're escaping the mountain. And that's
mountain.
Yep.
Escape mountain.
And then when you escape the mountain and you make it into an ambulance, then it's an escape ambulance because you're trying to get out of the ambulance because you realize that they're just trying to drug you and, like, kidnap you.
Yeah. And most games, when you think about it, are escape room games.
In fact, most days of your life is just an escape room. Like, how do you escape the office? How do you escape your bed?
That's it. I kind of feel like I'm in an escape podcast right now.
Yeah. There's one easy way that we could escape this game, and that's 3, 2, 1, click.
Okay. It's also 3, 2, 1, end of episode.
Yeah, I reckon we can do one more quick.
All right. We'll
lightning
fit one
round.
Quick. Lightning round. 3, 2, 1, lightning. Desegregation.
Slicing.
Okay, well, slicing is sort of desegregating. No, it's not. It's the opposite.
Segregating.
It's segregating.
So slicing and deslicing. Let's just make it easier. So, you kind of slicing up regions and then healing certain regions to bring them back together. It's gerrymandering.
Gerrymandering. For PlayStation 4.
You've got a guy named Jerry and just slicing him up and then putting him back together. Like,
wait.
Gerrymandering.
But it's slicing up the fucking
physical
voting
guy.
regions of Jerry.
Yep.
It's like this. We need to make sure
his name is gerrymandering.
Well, no, we're mandering him. That's the verb.
Okay, we're mandering.
We need to make sure that there are the minimal white blood cells in his left arm.
Yeah.
Because we want to make sure that goes to the cancer. It's quite dark.
We were so dark with that one. Lightning round fail.
Yeah.
And that's the end of tonight's episode.
See, we keep that one in.
Have that nasty taste in your mouth. Gerrymandering.
I'll see if I can salvage the good bits of that one. by gerrymandering. Thank you for joining us this week on Bitstorm. If you'd like to find any of our previous episodes, go to podchaser.com/Bitstorm. They're all there. Check them out. Come and leave us a review and tell us all sorts of things.
If you like the song that plays at the start and end of each episode, that song is called Mount Defiance off of the album Containment Failure by the band Kuradust. And that band does not contain a member by the name of Jerry.
No. So thank you again for joining us this week on Bitstorm. I'm Ben Slinger.
I'm Trevor Scott.
And thrust to the east, thrust to the west.
Take it back, y'all, now. Cha-cha real slow.
2 steps forward and 1 step back.